Good morning. Pastor Jason Freeman tells this one on himself. He said when he was a new driver, he developed a bad habit. Instead of filling up when the gas light came on, he would ignore the warning and see just how far he could get. Now, most of the time, he would fill up right before the car stopped running, but here's where it gets interesting. He said, "What do you do when you run out of gas on the way to your wedding?" Oh, brother. Even though he had been reminded many times, he ignored the warnings and he ignored the signs that indicated that trouble was near. Like I said, this is where it gets pretty interesting. As a result of ignoring the warnings, he walked the last mile to the church in his tuxedo. It took quite a bit of nerve for him to confess something like this in a sermon and eventually would wind up on the internet. But you know something? I think we've probably all done some pretty dumb things along the way. I know for sure I certainly have. But hopefully we live and sometimes we learn. Just thinking about some of the things I've learned along the way, here's a few of them. I've learned that money is a lousy way of keeping score. I've learned that it takes years to build up trust, but it only takes a few seconds to destroy it. I've learned that you can get by on charm, for about 15 minutes, that is if you're lucky. And after that, you'd better know something, and you'd better be for real. I've learned that regardless of how hot and steamy a relationship is at first, the passion fades and there had better be something else to take its place, something called commitment. I've learned that maturity has more to do with what types of experiences you've had and what you've learned from them, and less to do with how many birthdays you've celebrated. I've learned that no matter how badly your heart is broken, the world simply doesn't stop for your grief. It goes right on, sometimes hardly noticing the tear running down your cheek. I have learned that even when you think you have no more to give, when friends cry out to you, somehow, from somewhere, you'll find strength to help. I've also learned that you should always leave loved ones with loving words. After all, it may be the last time you ever see them, except at their funeral. Today is the only day we have to live. Let's make the most of it. I'm Larry Hatfield. God bless.